Well, good morning, Falcons. This is our nuts and bolts and the staff handbook review. So the purpose of today is to give you a video that you can watch at your leisure and to review these items. We don't want to use up professional development time for this because this is really just going over some of the important policies, procedures, rules, and things that we have here at Van Horn. I think a theme you'll see from this year is structure. We're really trying to implement a lot of structure into what we do. And that takes a lot of planning, and it takes a review of all the structural items, procedures, so that everyone's on the same page. So hopefully after today, you'll know where to go to access important documents. And you'll also be able to reach out to an admin or counselor if you have any questions on a particular item. If you are a new teacher, we always ask that you consult with your mentor first if you have a question, just because a lot of times they'll have an answer to a lot of these new things that are new to you. So without further ado, we'll get started here. Here's the handbook. This is shared with you. Obviously, I always recommend that you make it a favorite and hit the star, and that way it'll be easily accessible all the time. This is a living document. It is changes from time to time. Sometimes you remove things when they're not needed on there, like back to school stuff wouldn't be needed around Christmas time. So sometimes we take that stuff off, and that way it's not cluttered. But right now it is very cluttered. We tried to organize it as best we can. But the key is just to take some time to review these items. So first off, at the top, just so you know, the duties and expectations of all of our admin, counselors, and office staff. You can access that in this document where it says click to view admin counselor duties. Below that, we have phone extensions. I would recommend you print this out, have it by your phone so you can access folks in the office that you might need. We also have added nurse, different resources that we have throughout the building, so you have that quick phone list. We also have all of our staff phone numbers for every teacher, what classroom they're in. We've got that listed out here in case you need to call a colleague and ask them a question. And then we also have our organization of Van Horn families. So we have our neighborhoods that we'll talk about more in PD. We also have you by academy, and we also have you by department. So make sure you go through that list and make sure it's correct. If you need to take time to pause right now to make sure you go in and check that list. I've also added the bell schedule for this year. It is different from last year, so make sure you review it. We don't have lunch schedules at this time. They'll be added once we get more clarification on expectations with regards to COVID. Call log form. This is a document. Anytime you contact a parent, in the past, we've kind of asked you to do this loosely, keep track of it on your own. We would like you to use this call log form. You can use your own form as well, but this allows us to collect data on what parents were contacting. So we can get that information to our academy leaders. We can kind of review who's been called and who we need to call. Senior class calendar is blank right now, but that will be housed right here, and will be an opportunity for you to talk with seniors if you have them about the upcoming events for the senior year. This is your personal log that you will use daily to document contact tracing. We also have the Saturday schools listed. If you are interested in working a Saturday school, you can sign up on this document. This also gives you all the dates of Saturday schools. For those of you that are new, Saturday school is located at central office. It occurs on Saturday mornings, and it's an opportunity for students to make up time and to get some academic help. I've also included a classroom log that looks to be the same as the personal log, but it's just another thing for you to keep in your classroom so that you can document contact tracing. I will include 504 training documents. This is very important that each of you review those, and then we'll have a sign off for that. Building map, that is also going to be changed a little bit this year as we have some changes, but we also we still utilize this building map. So new teachers, you can utilize it to find your way in most of the older parts of the building. We have an incident tracker. This is for referrals. If you need to write up a student for discipline, you'll go to incident tracker. That's the tool we used. I jumped ahead here. Course syllabus. This is the place where you'll upload your course syllabus. We'll have more information coming out to you about that, but you can just drag and drop in there. We use that when we're talking to parents so we can access your syllabus and answer any questions they might have. We have an updated copy of the student handbook that has all of our policies for students. Those are things that you'll be accessing on the first couple of days of school. Curriculum instruction, if you need help on where to go to find curriculum maps, questions you have about curriculum, go to that website. Jumping down to Falcon Way Day for 2021. So the first day of school will all be a procedures day. Mr. Saunders will talk a little bit more about that during PD, but that is a planned out day for you for each one of your classes to really go over expectations and talk about that structure that we have built in. How to request a sub also goes to Mr. Saunders. Click on that document and you can see his phone number and instructions for how to request a sub when you're out. Teacher evaluation information is here. It's a lengthy document, but if you have any questions about our evaluation process, for example, if you're new and you don't know, go to your evaluator first, but if you need to, you can review this. We will have a PBE presentation that we do annually in September, and that'll get everything kind of kick-started as far as evaluations. The first couple weeks of school, we will not be conducting any formal observations of teachers. We might pop in just to see if you need help or things like that, but we will not be conducting those. We'll notify you the day that we begin observations, so you have a heads up. Got some attendance expectations that I'd like you just to review. Virtual attendance, assessment plan for virtual classroom teacher expectations, SPED expectations, in-person teaching expectations, protocols for virtual learning. Take a look at those at your leisure. I will highlight this is something that is very helpful, how to best communicate with Spanish-speaking families. Click on that and it'll give you who to email. I always just email Spanish interpreters, and I think that's the guidance it gives you in this document. And that allows us to get that information out to them, and they should reach back and will help communicate with the family. We also have the attendance cheat sheet, just so you know, some different codes and what they are. Letterheads and logos, if you need to type a reference letter for a kid or something like that, or you just want our letterhead and logos, take it in here. Please make a copy of it so you don't become the owner of it and we all have to take your letter and redo it to fit ours. So just make a copy and keep it on your drive so you have that. You're welcome to use the logos if you want to use them in your syllabus, anything that you'd like to in that document. We have our improvement plan for the high school. This was presented back in June. This is where you can go if you need to reference our improvement plan for your professional development plan or career ladder or anything like that. If that's foreign to you, it's probably because you don't need to know about it. But if you are doing those things, you can access. And if you just want to kind of know the general direction of the school and how we're doing, you can find it in that document. We have some student-related items that really come into play as kids come back. Lunch signups, we will have that on here. That could change. We haven't decided yet. Food service hasn't exactly how we're going to do lunch this year, so that could change, and I'll take that off there if it does. For those of you with us last year, it's just the document that students can use to sign up for lunch. We do have kind of a cool new program this year called Meal Viewer. This is something for staff and students. You can access the menu. It's kind of an interactive platform. You can create a profile. You can tell them what you like, what you don't like about the meals. And it allows kids to really kind of be interactive with the menu. So we'll have an opportunity for kids and staff to look at that on the first couple of days. Cell phone policy is right here. This is our initial policy that we implemented back in 1920. And we're really going to follow that with the Yonder pouches. Please review that. Again, new teachers, if you would, contact your mentor if you have any questions, but you're always welcome to reach out to us as well. Most of our teachers can explain our policy. I don't have it on here. We are doing tardy sweeps, and I'll put a link on here as well. So we'll have the tardy sweep data and expectations for teachers on that as well. If you need a work order, let's say technology is not going well, your phone's not working, you can submit a work order using this document, and it'll go to our building tech, Joe Zacharias, and he will get to work on that item. We have some information about a program called Falcon 55, which is a reading program. You're welcome to look at that. PST referral form. Mr. Saunders is in charge of PST, and I'm his backup. And we will do a presentation on PST, a little bit of one probably during PD, but we'll also have one as school starts, and we need to start referring students to PST. Van Horn behavior flow chart. This is a helpful tool, especially for new teachers. This kind of lets you know what we believe are office managed behaviors and what are classroom managed behaviors. But please know that this is a suggestion. If you have questions, obviously we can step in if you feel like you need help. But this is a great document to use as you are possibly using Incident Tracker, which I think I've already got on here, but here it is again. One other piece I'm going to add to this that just came to mind is our intervention timeline. So many of you probably know Mr. Saunders and Ms. Romero have moved to the library, and that's going to allow us to have some shutdown stations daily. We're going to share out our expectations for shutdown, what that's going to look like. We got a lot of feedback last year that you were happy we had shutdown, but you wanted a little more communication on the parameters of it and the expectations of teachers. So we will work on that. Also, we have got some scheduled intervention days that we'll share out. These are days that purposefully we have in place for how we're going to help kids get back on track that have fallen behind. And so we'll share those as well. So with that, we will share out a quiz, an assessment on the faculty handbook and these nuts and bolts items. As always, don't hesitate to reach out. New teachers, use your mentor teacher if you have questions. And that'll wrap it up. Thank you, guys.